It's no contest. Every day, people attempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are more dangerous than you think. See tracks, think train. For more safety tips, visit ctracksthinktrain.org. Good morning.
This is Pepper, host of the Arkansas Talks radio show here on KABF. And I'm also the former mayor of Riceville. And I am asking you for your support. We need your help. On March 5th, in 1959, 21 young men burned to death on the campus of the Arkansas Department of Correction in Riceville. At that time, it was known as the Negro Boys Industrial School. On March 14th, Arkansas Talks is partnering with the city of Wrightsville and the Ash Foundation to host a commemorative banquet marking the 67th anniversary of this tragedy. We will dress support. We have ticket prices, no admission, VIPs, but there are also some amazing opportunities for you to sponsor. We need sponsors. You can get an ad in our souvenir book, sponsorship levels. You can see on our site. Go to Zeffy.com, Riceville 21. We need your support for this event. Once again, March 14th at 6 p.m., Wrightsville Gymnasium, Wrightsville, Arkansas. The theme for the event, a night of unity, remembering the 21. We are bringing unity to the community, and we are remembering Wrightsville 21. We need your help. A part of the proceeds go to benefit the Ash Foundation for at-risk children. If you need more information, please call us. Area code 501-683-9940. Been a fool for love. Tell you like my heart is so easy. Remember that you're always easy. And it takes a real man to save it all.
Yes, we coming in hot this morning with Community Voices live right here at KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. I am your host, the Reverend Doctor. You can call me Denise. And we've got a special guest in the house today. Special guest in the house on video. He not live with me on video. And I can't wait for you all to hear more and more and more about what we have to talk about. But first, let me say how grateful we are that you are here with us. We realize right here on the corner of Main Street and 21st that if it were not for you, if it were not for all of the different ways that you show up for us, we would not be alive on this air. We know that. It is all because of you. And that's one of the reasons I love whoever came up with the name of this show, Community Voices. Yes, because we are the voice of the people. And so thank you so much. And I also want to remind you that we greet you every time we come on. We greet you in the spirit of Sawubona, that spirit of oneness that binds us together by our humanity. And this particular conversation is always rooted in, sourced in Blackness, but in the context of the human story. So every person that's a human, if you consider yourself human, you are part of this conversation. And the phone lines are absolutely going to be open at 501-433-0088, 501-433-0088. So Cornelius, first, can you just introduce yourself to us? I know you've been on here before, but we get new listeners all the time. And so act like this your first time and tell us what you want us to know about you.
Well, good morning, and thank you for that welcome. I appreciate it.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? You can't hear me?
Oh,
It
let me
says my
see. We can't hear you, Cornelius. Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
See what I need to do.
Testing 1, 2.
Maybe that's maybe that's why, because I ain't even been on air. Yes, we coming in hot this morning. Coming in hot this morning with Heather Headley singing full time, and you'll find out about it in just a minute. Thank you, Valerie. Valerie said we can hear yes, because y'all on the right. Y'all plugged into the right thing. I'm the one that's on the wrong. I got the wrong thing, but here we are. Here we are. We're coming in hot this morning. Community Voices live right here at KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. And we show up every single week. And we show up all day, every day on the station because of you, because of all of the ways that you show up for us. Sometimes I try to enumerate them, but I just cannot because y'all are always showing up. And that's what keeps us alive. And for that, we are grateful. And we also, in the spirit of gratitude, greet you in the spirit of Sawubona, that spirit of oneness that binds us together by our humanity. Yes, that binds us together by our humanity. And this conversation, Community Voices, is centered in Blackness, but only in the context of the human story. And so every human is a part of this conversation, and you can join us by calling in to 501-433-0088, 501-433-0088. The phone lines will be open. And so now, Cornelius, let's see if we can try it again. So Cornelius, can you please introduce yourself to us? Tell us what you want to know. Act like it's your first time being on here.
Well, thank you so very much, Denise. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me now? And you're not hearing me now?
Hold on, Cornelius. Something is happening. Say something now, Cornelius.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Can't hear you. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Yep. Okay.
No. So testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
You don't have yourself on mute, do you, Cornelius? Do you have yourself on mute? No.
No.
We cannot hear you. Let me see. Hello. This is not. Now this will happen to me when I'm not on here. Okay, let me put some music on, so because we got this dead air. See if I can figure out what's going on, Cornelius. But I need to play some music so that we won't be we won't be dead on the air. So just give me a minute to see if I can figure this out. Now people were just in here.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Cornelius, I still cannot hear you.
Okay.
So they say that they can hear you on Facebook though, so it's got to be our machine. The way something is happening right here. And I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Let me see if I can press some buttons. One guy came in, he was like, just start pressing buttons. They don't sound right though. Cornelius, I hate to do this, but we're gonna have to reschedule, or I'm gonna have to call you back when somebody gets here because I don't know how to fix it. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to fix it.
It's okay.
So I'll reach right back out to you. Okay. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for being.
No problem.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness. If somebody comes in and can help me figure out what's going on, then we will bring Cornelius back on because he wants to talk about I want him to talk about the transitional house that they have bought and had refurbished and all of those things right here in Petaway in our neighborhood. And it's really an interesting effort. I mean, just all of the work that they are doing, I really, really want you to hear about it. But right now, I don't know how to get him to play. But still, we are here. I want to take a moment, though, with the song that Cornelius led with, because I'm sure he'll get a different song the next time he comes on. But this song is about full time. It's about love. And if you're going to love somebody, you got to show up all the time. And you have to show up in ways that increase, in ways that grow your relationship. Don't show up in ways where you're going to do something stupid and then you got to owe somebody an apology and you want to come back and grovel and say, I'm sorry, and all of those things. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times when we do make mistakes with each other and we do have to come back and we do have to say we apologize. But there are some things that we do that we know when we do them that we on some most stuff. We know it, so don't just don't just don't, because when you are in love with somebody and they're in love with you back, most of the time we know how to push each other's buttons, and sometimes we do that on purpose, and that causes all kinds of ilk between us. So don't do that. But this song about full time, about being all the way in, about understanding who you are when you come into relationship with me. I need you to understand who I am. I am royalty. That's what she says in the song. Said, my mama told me, and I remember that my mama told me that I am royalty. And so anybody who is in relationship with me needs to understand that I am, listen, I'm a queen, I'm a king, however you identify. And then if you want to be in relationship with me, not only do you need to know that about me, but you need to also know that about you. Do you know that you are royalty? Because it's really difficult for you to treat me as the queen that I am if you don't know who you are fully. It's difficult to do, and it's going to exhaust you. Trying to do it is going to make you so tired that it's not going to be worth it for you. Finally, you just going to have to say, you know what, I don't even love myself. Okay, well, you could have started with that, Mr. Good Sir. We wouldn't even be here. And so the song about being all in and loving in a pure way, where you mean each other good, where you want the best for each other. That's what I hear when we're talking about full time. We need this to happen all the time. Not some of the time to the politicians when you're running for office. Not some of the time to somebody who's trying to get you to buy some kind of service from them. Like, no, don't let it be conditional. But my love for you is unconditional, and it's happening all the time. And that's what I heard about that song. How I understood it, how I interpreted it. And then I also love the part in the song where she says, look, you can't even run your game on me. It don't even work. All this playing you doing, all this testing you doing, you cannot run that game, no games on me, because I know. Oh, Cornelius, oh, he's still on the show. Cornelius agrees with me. Yes, absolutely. Love is all the time, and it's all okay, Cornelius, and it's often overtime. I think she says it in the song too. Love is all the time, and it's often overtime. So you really cannot put office hours on your love. You can't say that we here to love you from 9 to 5. You can't say we here to love you from 10 to 6. Or even if you're working the overnight, we don't just love you from 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning. We love you all the time. Even if I get that call at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm ready to do whatever needs to be done for the people that I love, for the population that I love, for the community that I love, for the humanity that I love. And so I want to also ground us in this conversation with our tidbit for today. This one is not coming from the EJI calendar. I want to read it because it is timely, and because I want to also support Pat Rogers Ward in what we heard the announcement a few minutes ago. I'm going to read it again, but I want to support her. So I want to read this tidbit that actually is coming from Black Knowledge. Somebody, I think I'm following them. I'm not sure. Black Knowledge, I saw it on Facebook. On March 5th, 1959, 69 Black teenage boys ages 13 to 17 were locked inside a dormitory at the Negro Boys Industrial School in Wrightsville, Arkansas, by staff members who padlocked the doors from the outside, a common practice at this facility. A fire, which some suspect was intentional, broke out at approximately 4 a.m., killing 21 boys while 48 others escaped escaped through windows with wire mesh. The facility was a juvenile detention center where staffers, often following Jim Crow era protocols of segregation and punishment, padlocked the doors to prevent escape. Reports from the time indicate the staff had gone to bed, leaving the boys in a quote unquote reform school that served as a prison. No one was ever criminally charged for the deaths. The investigation was flawed, with reports that officials destroyed the scene of the crime almost immediately with hoses and rakes. While a grand jury cited multiple agencies for negligence, no individuals were held accountable for the deaths. A memorial for the 21 victims was finally dedicated in 2019. The tragedy is remembered as one of the deadliest fires in Arkansas history, occurring in a facility that was severely underfunded and poorly maintained. And so let me again invite you to this event that is sponsored by Arkansas Talks and Friends. It's the 67th anniversary banquet, a night of unity remembering the 21. March 5th, 1959. So the venue is at the Wrightsville Gymnasium, 13024 Arkansas Highway 365 South in Little Rock 72206. This event happens on March 14th. That's this Saturday, March 14th. Join us for the 67th anniversary commemorative banquet in memory of the 21 Black boys who died on March 5th, 1959 in a fatal fire at the Negro Boys Industrial School in Wrightsville, Arkansas. This tragic event has come to be known as the Wrightsville 21. This meaningful gathering will bring together leaders, supporters, and members of the community to promote unity, reflection, remembrance, and a shared commitment to preserving history, as well as support for programs and resources for at-youth risk. For more information, at-risk youth. And more information, please dial 501-683-9940, 501-683-9940. So that's coming up, and I hope to see you there because I plan on being in attendance myself. Because I know we've had some conversation. People have been talking about how we don't talk about this event anymore. People were wondering what happened. Like no one has been held accountable. And so this is one of the ways that love shows up. Cornelius got us talking about and thinking about what it means to love all the time and to love even overtime. So Saturday, most of you all work Monday through Friday. You want to take the weekend off, but on Saturday, we asking you to put in some overtime love to join us for this time of remembrance and reflection together. And also, I'm hoping that we might even touch on some strategies and some tactics because I'm getting sick and no. Fannie Lou Hamer, I'm with her. I've been sick and tired of the blood of my ancestors, of our ancestors, because we talk about this being a conversation that centers Blackness, but it's in the context of the human story, the world story. So all of us share this history. This is not just Black history. This is American history. This is all of our history. So I'm tired of our ancestors' blood continuing to cry out from the ground because it has not yet been redeemed. It has not yet been acknowledged. It has not yet been honored and celebrated and embraced. It still runs warm beneath our feet. No matter where you are sitting or standing across this planet, it's still running warm. And so we've got to do something about that. So I do hope that you will be able to join us on Saturday, March 16th. And the reception is at 6 o'clock and the program starts at 7:30. The reception is at 6 o'clock and the program starts at 7:30, and that is PM. That is in the evening. And so when we're talking about what it means to love overtime and to love unconditionally, I think sometimes we need to take a moment and step back because I believe that there are plenty of us who use the same words. We're speaking the same language in terms of the words that are coming out of our mouths, but our understanding of those words, our interpretation of those words, what those words look like in action often differ. And we usually find ourselves in conversation thinking that we're on the same page until all of a sudden, when it's about to go down, we realize, wait, what have we been talking? What are you doing? What have we been talking about? I thought we were on the same page. And so I feel like we need to take a moment to ask each other to share with us, like, what do you think love, when you define love, what does that mean? There's a caller that calls in sometimes, and he says something to the effect of, we don't have the right language. Like, we're limited in our linguistic skills in how to communicate effectively with each other, especially concepts as big and as broad as love. And then because we are limited by our language skills, about our language development, of just because we're human, we're limited by our humanity. It's not because we are dumb or stupid or anything. We're just limited by our humanity. We don't have access to the vastness of things that this world can offer to us. And so when we talk about love, we'll use that same word, I love you, talking about the person that I have dedicated my whole life to. We are in a committed relationship, whether that looks like common law, whether that looks like a wedding where you had an officiant in a church, whether that looks like going to the justice of the peace. However, you have given yourself over to this person that I've just been with them my whole life. However it is, we use the word I love you for that. And it carries so much weight. And many of us love to hear it, and we long to hear it. And when we don't hear it, it makes us feel some kind of way. But then we'll turn around and use that same word and say, I love French fries. Or in my case, I'll say, I love baked potatoes. I love me some baked potatoes. I love baked potatoes. And so it's like, okay, so how is it that, how does this word work actually? So it's the same word that you use for a person that you've dedicated your life to, that you doing, like, y'all got a rhythm that y'all follow, and y'all get in on each other's flow every single day and every single night, day after day. But then I might have a baked potato every quarter. What's the connection between the two that would cause us to use the same word? And so with Denise, of course, it doesn't mean the same. And I'm like, I agree. I'm asking you, but what does it mean? When you say that I am going to show up in love and for love and because of love, full time, all the time, over time, what does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? And Cornelius, if you're still on the line, tell me the acronym for the transitional house. I know it's called the House of Love, but I also know that love is an acronym, and I didn't realize that until I was at your place the other day, that love is an acronym. So what does that stand for? To help us understand what it means when we say we're going to show up in love. And it's impossible. Let me see if that's since I'm talking about language and being careful with words, let me see if that's the word I want to use. It is impossible. I do not think that it is possible for you to genuinely love somebody that you don't care anything about. I think that's impossible. And I know I hear people say all the time that I don't have to like you to love you. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Oh, so here's Raheem. Okay, yes. Both of them. Both of y'all came in with it. Okay, so LOVE is an acronym for living out loud, validated, and empowered. That was Cornelius, and Raheem came right on back. Living out loud, validated, and empowered. Living L-O out loud, V validated, E empowered. That is what that's what it means for Cornelius and the Strylight Foundation and RAPS. Cornelius, I don't know if I'm gonna get all your organizations together because y'all do so. The Living Room Wellness Resource Center. So that's what it means. Living out loud. So if I'm living out loud, that means I don't have to check any boxes before I walk through a door. When I show up, I can show up in the fullness of who I am. I'm not the one who has given myself an identity. I'm not the one who was born into this world and called. I said, and when I was finally able to talk, I said, Mama, I'm black. Like that's not what I did. That's not what happened to me. The world has socialized us and conditioned us and programmed us into all of these identities and labels that they give to us. And then they want to give them to us because they signal for us. That's what they do. They serve as a signal to how you're supposed to treat the person. It's interesting to me how when other people, when non-white and non-black people come to America, when non-white and non-black non-Black people come to America, it doesn't take them long to realize and recognize that Black people are at the bottom of the caste system. It doesn't take them long. And so sooner, before you know it, you walking into a space that's dominated by non-white and non-Black people, but they treat you the same way you've been being treated by the system of whiteness, the system of white inhumanity your whole life. And you're like, wait a minute, how you just come over here? And this is how you're going to relate to us, because this world continuously, it's almost like they're going to do it. They want to do it. The world wants to do it perpetually. That means forever and ever and always, never change the fact that my identity as Black tells you how you ought to treat me. And if that's true, that this identity that I have, that was given to me, and I do own it. On some level, I absolutely own being Black. Now, I don't own being African American, and that's a conversation we can have for another day. I appreciate Jesse Jackson for what he was doing when he did it, but the way I understand the word, that's just not how I see myself. And so because of this identity, so if you look at me and you see Black, or you look at me and you think you see whatever my gender orientation or my sexual orientation or my gender identity, or you think you know whether or not I'm poor, you think you know whether or not I'm educated, you think all of these things about me, because whatever Black brings up for you, all of that rushes to the front of your mind when you see me. Is it possible for you to then love me unconditionally? I mean, love me full time. Oh yeah, unconditionally works. Love me unconditionally. Be ready to work with me, build with me, grow with me, appreciate me, honor me, embrace me. Is it possible for you to do that? How does that kind of love work for you, where you don't even like me, but you dare to say that you love me? I remember when Toney had some guests on the show. They were white men. They came up with these identities. I did not say this. This is what they said. They were white men, conservative, Christian, and one of them voted for Trump. And this was sometimes I sure wish y'all could be in here for the conversation after the conversation. I be wanting to, like, we should have had this on the app. But we were having a conversation, just the two of us sitting here, because everybody else had left out. And we were disagreeing about some things, as you can imagine. But he kept saying, but I love you. And I had to finally say to him, listen, sir, it's not possible for you to love me, because people who voted for Trump, you voted for racism. That's what you voted for. You voted to make sure that you could reignite, reestablish. Well, I don't want to say because it never went away, but continue to push to the front, the foreground, the history of America, where you felt comfortable in your whiteness because you had all the power in the world to do whatever you wanted to do, particularly the Black folks. You want me to believe that you love me, and that's who you voted for. It's not possible, sir. Stop saying it. Stop saying it, because it's not the truth. I feel like, am I missing some calls? Let me move this thing out of the way so I can see. Caller, I feel like somebody's calling me, but I don't hear anything. I don't see any flashing, but the light went off on the phone. So if you call me back. 501-433-0088, 501-433-0088. And so when we task each other, okay, maybe that's it. Caller, you're live on the air, KABF 88.3. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I had to apologize to the brother last week. But when we look at what we say, the Most High is giving all the time. I mean, giving everything. It amazes me how we can walk out, look at the sun, walk on Mother Earth, and never say thank you for sharing your life. Give it to me like that. Thank you, Mother Earth, for bringing me nourish and giving me all the time I need. But yet it's still, we can spend a lot of time wasting the things that we can't see, don't even know it with. Now, we all practice real love, and that no one is living on this planet by themselves. So we all giving something, whether we call it good or bad, we are giving all the time. They have different words. I hear them use the word agape love. Now, if I'm understanding right, that comes from Greek. And that's what they think is one kind of love in between the alpha male and a little boy. We need to look up these words and know what we really saying. But everybody's giving some all the time. So that is the highest love I could understand. Whether you like it or not, you still giving. Baby.
Okay, Colin. And so I take that to mean that the caller's definition of love is what you what love is what manifests through the giving of yourself in whatever way that shows up. So you give of yourself to nature, to the world, to the planet, to people, to the cosmos. As an offering, you offer yourself as gift to the world to give. And so thank you. That's what I'm asking us to do, is to think about what it means when we say that we love. And so, and then I want somebody also. So we talked about agape love. And so there are some loves that we have identified. I'm gonna have to fact check what he said about agape love, about who it's between when you look up the word. My understanding of agape love is that kind of love that God has, that God says, I love all of you. What is it? It's over in Romans chapter 8. It's perhaps for those of us who have been marginalized, for those of us who have been outcasts, for those of us who are still marginalized and are still being pushed out of wherever, whatever people consider the mainstream. Perhaps one of the best, not the best, but one of the most soothing words that you can hear, a few of the most soothing words that you can hear are found in that book that we call the Bible, where it says that there's absolutely nothing that can separate you from the love of God. And he goes on and he talks about Jesus, but I just want to stop with God, because we know we got Jesus. Okay, we can talk about that later, but God, those of you who are believers, you believe in God. So let's just stop right there, because I'm not trying to I'm not trying to parse out the religions. I'm not trying to do that. But nothing can separate you from that love that if you believe that you're creator, if you believe God as creator, whatever your religion is, whatever your faithful practice is. So it doesn't matter what the world calls you. It doesn't matter what the labels are. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how small you are. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in. It doesn't matter what school you go to. It doesn't matter if you don't even go to school. It doesn't even matter if you're drunk at 9 o'clock in the morning. I done found me a friend. When I walk, every time I see him, he is inebriated. Every time I see him. But yet and still, we have a whole conversation. We have a whole conversation, and I greet him as King. I say, "Hey, King," and he's like, "Hey, I saw you." I say, "I know, I saw you too," and we'll start talking. Because to me, that's what love is. Love does not judge. Love does not determine that your life is one thing and my life is something else, or if only you would do like me and do this, or if only you would stop doing that. That to me is not love. And so when we say we're going to give ourselves over to each other according to the caller, and say that I want you to recognize my love through how I give of myself. I kind of okay, so that's the agape love. And then we talk about the filio, came from Philadelphia, or I don't think it came. I think Philadelphia came from. Yeah, Philadelphia was not here first. And that is about brotherly love. And then there's eros, and that's supposed to be the romantic love. And so those are the three definitions that I have heard, over and over again in whatever setting I'm in, when people want to go into defining what love is. Okay, so even if you use that, the love of a being, a powerful force that's bigger than all of us, that's beyond this world, that cannot even be contained in this world, that's agape. And then how do I treat my brother? That would be it says brother, but they're talking about humans. How do I treat a fellow human? How do I move and navigate with the world, the rest of the world, with the populations, communities in the world? And then eros, like, who is it that I say, not only do I want to stand up and have a conversation with you, but I want to lie down with you and we'll have a whole different conversation. Like, and I do believe that there are some things that you cannot figure out standing up that you can figure out in different positions. And so I really understand those three definitions of love. I've heard that before. But where does the part about I love cats come in? And I love French fries. And I love, what else do I love? I love broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts. What does that fall into? Like, why do we use the word love for that? And that's not what I mean, like, that's not the crutch, that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is about how do you love, or how can you love, or how can you even manifest love if you feel some kind of negative energy around who it is you're called to love. How can you know what? I just thought about something, y'all. Let's pause for a moment. My friend Deidre, her mother passed. I got them. I don't even think it's been a week. I don't even think it's been a week. And so I want to pause right now. We're talking about love. I want to pause right now. One of the ways that we can express our love for Deidre and her family is to just pause for a moment and hold her in sacred space for the loss of her mother. Yeah, let's pause for a moment. All right, thank you for that. And so that's what the conversation is about. It's about what do we need to do so that the words that we are able to communicate actually match our actions. Because going back to the young man that said that he loves me and he voted for Trump, I'm like, okay, so you're saying that with your mouth, but your actions prove differently. So what do we need to do to reconcile those two? That the words that are coming out of your mouth, I can see them clearly in how you move. That was one of the reasons that I wanted Cornelius to be on the show. And we're going to get him back on. I don't know what's going on with this board, and nobody's come here to help me. I don't know, but one thing that I have said to Cornelius, I've said it to his face, I've said it behind his back. I'll say it again to whoever I need, because one thing about y'all know about Denise, whatever I say, I can say it anywhere in front of anybody, because that's how I show love. That I do not talk about you behind your back. I do not do the two-face. I'm not like that. I'm direct. And so Cornelius is the one person that I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I've been here 10 years now. I can't believe I've been here 10 years. It's the first place I've ever stayed more than 5 years. I've been in Arkansas 10 years, and I have been in movement space since I got here. Movement space brought me here, being a part of the movement. And I met Cornelius very early on. I don't know if it was in 15. I had to get my feet. I had to figure stuff out first and then start meeting people. So it might have been 16 when we first met. But in the 10 years that I have known Cornelius, he is the only person that I can say that I'm close enough to be able to say, listen to me. I'm not saying he's the only person that does this. I'm saying the only person that I'm close enough to know this about his life. That's what I'm saying. He's the only one I can reach out into, that I can know where to find him. That everything he has talked about doing, everything he has told me he has a wish for, everything he told me he believes that he's called to do, he has done it. He has not reneged on, and I don't even know if he calls them promises. I don't want to call them promises, but he has not reneged on any part of the work, because it's the work that he has gotten in on the flow of the work. And so I've seen this with my own eyes. I'm over to his place, Living Room Wellness Resource Center. Y'all need to check it out, A615 Chico Road. And I'm in there, coming there probably to get a book, probably to get tested, probably because they got some food in the back. No telling why I'm there. Maybe I'm trying to help. I don't know. But I've listened to the conversations that he's had with people. And as they're having the conversation, he realizes, oh, wait a minute. He doesn't say this to the person. He's having a conversation with the person fully present with. But when the person walks out the door and he begins to unpack the conversation, he's like, wait a minute. Part of this is because there's a barrier to the care that he needs. Part of this is because we got systems that are not working. Part of this is because he needs a place to live. Like, he begins to see where the gaps are and say, okay, well, that's our next step. We need to fill this gap. Okay, and so the I don't want to talk about the house because I want him to talk about the house, but that's what brought him to the house. I'm talking to people. I'm fully present with them because the way my love shows up says I care enough about you to have a conversation that centers you. Talk to me about your life. Talk to me about your dreams. Talk to me about your visions. Talk to me about your day to day. Talk to me about your goal, your 5 year. Talk to me. Let me get to know you. And as I get to know you and as we are in relationship with each other, then we can figure out how best to let our love show up for each other. How best do I give myself over to this feeling and this notion of love so that it manifests in your life. The love that I have for my work, the love that I have for me, the love that I have for my community, the love that I have for for all of what I think about. It's going to impact your life in a way that's positive, because plenty of us are being impacted by other people's lives, but it's not positive. But I want this love to show up in a way that lets you feel it. Not just words that's coming out of my mouth, but that you can say, you know what? I believe those words. You know what? I trust those words. You know what? I receive those words because I'm watching you move. And it's not like going back to that same book that we have called the Bible. I think I was talking about the part where nothing can separate you being probably the most soothing of words that we can hear. Some words that I think that we have absolutely misinterpreted are those words, as for me and my house. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. That's in the Old Testament. And some of us really have latched onto that, and we use it to mean that I'm going to live the way me and my family, this is what we're going to do for us. We're going to live this kind of way for us. We're going to do this for us. We're going to make sure us have. We're going to make sure us get. We're going to make sure us is fine and good all the time. As for me, look, I don't know what y'all doing over there. That ain't my problem. Y'all got to fix your own house. But as over here, this is what we're going to do over here. And I think that works when you're talking about your faith practice. As a matter of fact, I think that's exactly the only place that it works, because your faith is your faith, and how you want to live that faith out with your family of origin, with your family, your extended family. Like, absolutely, you all get to decide that. And that's all you need to be worried about, how you all are going to practice your faith, and then how you want that faith to show up with other folks. So if you're using it in that sense as it relates to your faith, okay, fine. But when you use it in the sense that we are seeing it unfold in our world today, where you have people, we've been talking about the 1%, we talk about the 3%. You have people that are, as for me and my house, we're going to make all the money. We're going to destroy every climate. We're going to poison every environment. As long as me and my house are able to live over here, as long as me and my house are able to have enough money to buy a whole island, to rent a whole, who was that I was watching? And they were having a wedding or something, and they rented the whole island. The whole island. I'm like, what is we doing? You done rented the whole island for a wedding for you and your house so y'all can showcase. And so that's where it becomes problematic, when we're doing something in our house with only regard for the people that we love the most. Because them other people out there we don't love. I was in a conversation with, I think, it was a round table of women, of Black women. Yeah, it was a round table of Black women. And a conversation came up about Blackness. But what I was told was that I really did not reflect the community, the Black community, because of the way that my life has unfolded. And because there are certain hardships that I have not had to experience on my own, in my own personal life, then I lack the ability to really understand what it means to love somebody who's going through this, or to love somebody who has to make these choices. Because if you don't understand why they had to make these choices, then it's hard for you to appreciate the choices that they've made. And so if it's hard for you to appreciate those choices, you're probably judging those choices. And if you are judging those choices, that means that you cannot love the person that you are judging. Now, let me say this, because I do think that there is room for a definition of judgment. That's another thing that baffles me when we talk about language, when we talk about conversations, when we talk about concepts. When you look up if you use a dictionary, just a regular dictionary, I have the dictionary app on my phone. It's the one that's dictionary.com. I don't think it matters which dictionary that you use, but the dictionary will have 3 definitions for the same word, and all 3 of them are different. So how is the same word all 3 of these different things? It reminds me a little bit of how you go to the doctor and they prescribe some medication for you, and they'll say, yes, this medication might make you lose some weight, but I'm actually prescribing it to you to help your back pain. I'm like, wait, what now? Or they'll say, this medication is going to help you with your depression and anxiety, but it may also cause you to have hot flashes. Like, I don't know. But like, so how did we get here? That one word can have these, I don't even want to say they're competing definitions, but they're different definitions. So you got this one word. And so a definition of judgment that can be used, when the definition that talks about how we look down on someone because of their situation, their circumstance, their life, their identities, whatever it is, but we consider ourselves to be of more value in some way because we don't have these same mannerisms, we don't have this same behavior, then that's a negative kind of judgment. I don't participate in that. But the kind of judgment that I do participate in, I don't use the word judgment because that definition that comes up, the connotation, that's what I should call it, the connotation, because there's a difference between the denotation of a word and the connotation of a word. The denotation of a word is what you see in the dictionary, that this is what it means. Like, let me give it to you in the black and white. But connotation means how the world responds to the word, regardless of what the definition says. Because we can talk about that in terms of racism. Like, we'll say, well, no, we outlawed racism. I'm like, when we did Brown versus, we outlawed racism. Like, no. You might say that with your mouth, but the way that the world responds to that word, right, we still know that it's alive and well. And so I don't use that word because the connotation of it fits what I talked about before. You looking at a person with a side eye because of who they are and what they do and how they operate, move in the world. Hold on, I think that's the phone. Caller, you're live on the air, KABF. Thanks for calling.
One, we say we use the English language. The English language is really a dogmatic thing. It's not what maybe we think it is. The problem with English is called, it's the youngest thing, it's called a cursive thing. You can use words in the English language that be talking against your own self and don't even realize you're doing it, which folks do all the time. We use a word, words are very powerful with the frequency that they carry. We hurt ourselves bad. We heard sticks and stones made break my bone, but words never hurt me. That is one of the biggest lies ever been told. Words can literally destroy you, hurt you, they can uplift you, they can do all kinds of things. But you got to check for something. One word means to check for something different things, they got to be confused. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree with the caller that whoever came up with words, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is absolutely untrue. I agree with you on that. As far as the English language, like we really, that's all we got, right? Like we have, I didn't mean that. Those of us who have English as a first language and we don't know any other languages, that's all we have. But there are definitely other languages out there that I respect and honor and be trying to learn. I'm still working on my sign language. I'm still working on my French. I ain't really doing too good with the Spanish. But that's all we know. That's all we know. That's all we have. And so that's why we got to figure out how to navigate these words, because they are the only ones that we have right now that we can use. Wait a minute. Let me listen to Cornelius. Cornelius says, I was impressed with the Muslim call to prayer, which made me realize that perhaps I was not truly hearing what I was called to do with my love light, with intention. You sometimes need to sit with yourself and listen. I was impressed with the Muslim call to prayer, which made me realize that perhaps I was not truly hearing what I was called to do with my love light, with intention. You sometimes need to sit with yourself and listen. And if you are wondering if you are a person who does not sit with yourself, if you are so busy that you don't have time, that every time you sit down, you fall asleep, you don't listen to yourself. You keep yourself moving so much so that, I don't know if it's conscious or not, so that you don't have to listen to yourself. You don't want to deal with yourself. You don't want to, because if you stop to listen to yourself and you center yourself with yourself and you do it with intention, everything gonna come up, whether you like it or not. Here's my brother, Dr. Derek Daniel. It's interesting is how we Black folks have criteria to determine if we are truly Black. Yet the other races are really clear of what they see as a nigga. Oops, sorry, I mean a Black person. Simply put, our skin color is the determinant. Listen to my brother. It's interesting how we as Black folks have criteria to determine if we are truly Black. Yet the other races are really clear of what they see as a nigga. Oops, sorry, I mean a Black person. Simply put, our skin color is the determinant. And so everybody else uses our skin color to define us except us. That's what I hear my brother saying. Because we were talking about, because my brother, I know my brother has gone through the same thing because he's my brother. I know a whole lot about his life. We have always been navigating, moving in white space. And that has, over the years for us, in many cases, made it difficult for us to move in Black space. Because some of us, when we see somebody that's usually in white space come to our Black space, we like, whoa, wait a minute. How Black are you? Now, don't get me wrong. I asked that question too. I'm not asking it in terms of how I want to treat you. I ask you in terms of how to see whether or not we can build together. Because I do believe that it's possible for you to love a person in terms of, I want you to live your best life, to live your abundant life. I want you to find that and do that. But until you get there, I might not be able to roll with you, because, I'm about tearing down these systems. That's what I'm about. And so that is interesting that we ourselves define ourselves differently than the world does. And really what we should do is, all of us who are Black, whether you identify that as that because the world says that that's who you are, seems like we would understand that we all got seem to me that we would be the ones that come with full force to each other, that we gravitate to. I got to find who you are. I want to be with you because we are fighting the same enemy. You would think we would do that. That because of our skin, we got this melanin, that means we need to, yes, come, let's fight. And that's not what we do. And so that connotation of the word judgment, what comes up for us when we hear the word judgment, I want to stay away from that. And so I don't use that when I say that that I judge people, but I do judge people. I just don't use that definition of it. I don't use the word judgment because I know that's what comes up for folks. What I say is, I'm picking your fruit. So I'm not saying anything bad about you. I'm not giving you the side eye. I'm not talking about you. I'm not making up stuff behind your back. I'm not creating false narratives that have to do with how you move among us. I'm not doing any of that. You are flowing in the midst of humanity as a human, and the way you behave, the things you say, the things you do, the places you go, the way you act, is just fruit of your tree. And so all I'm doing is walking up and saying, oh, okay, you a lemon. And so sometimes I've used this word, you a coon. I've used that word before. Like, I'm not judging you. As a matter of fact, what I've said plenty of times is just tell us who you are. Just tell us who you are. Then we won't have to spend so much time trying to figure it out on our own. I don't see your girl Lola. It's your girl Lola. Listen, y'all, I don't know. Was I supposed to come in today? I don't know what's going on. But I see that it is 10 o'clock. Usually I see your girl Lola walking around in here ready to do 2 hours of jazz right here. And I don't see it. Yeah, there she is. There she is. She heard me talking about it. Okay, thank you all so much for joining us for Community Voices right here. We've been live on KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. And we come to you every single Tuesday, giving you what you need to know so that you can figure out how you want to move or how you don't want to move based on the conversation that we have. So thank you so much for joining us. Please don't touch that dial. Your girl Lola is here. And when I tell you she be playing that music, it helps me walk, it helps me move, it helps me think, it helps me center, it helps me do all of that. And she's ready to do that for you right now. And so I'm going to get us started with a song that I really like. I've liked this song for a long time, even when I was a little girl. I want to make sure that I play it for you. It's called Love on a Two-Way Street by Stacey Lattisaw. We'll see you next time. Hold on. So cool. Is it playing? It's not playing. It's not playing. Good. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Here we go. It was a color.